He phoned me, which was unusual. Usually, he'd just send a one-sentence email.
Wow.
He did? He phoned
But I remember
you.
talking to him I remember talking to him out in the parking lot for some reason. He pitched me this idea that we should be the kind of investors that we wished we'd had. Like when we started ViaWeb, we didn't really know anything about business and certainly didn't know anything about how to get investors. And we talked to some sort of official investors, and they wanted things like monthly cash flow projections, and we had no idea how to even do that. And we eventually found some investors, like Paul's art teacher's husband, I guess.
Julian.
First investor.
Yep, Julian was your first investor at ViaWeb.
It was great. He was helpful. Like, he incorporated us and he was a lawyer, so he knew how to deal with things. And then we had some other investors who are kind of a nuisance. But mostly, we just didn't it was such an opaque business. We thought, let's just make, this is Paul's idea. Let's make easy investment, the standard way of getting a company going.
So when he called you, what did he say? You won't have to do much except what?
What?
Because he knew you were working on AnyBots.
Well, at the time it was let's just try this for a summer. We'll put out a call for startups on his website. We'll get a bunch of applications. We'll read them. So I think he, wanted me to read the applications and see if their technology was going to work.
The applications were PDF documents. Do you remember?
Yeah. Well, I turned them into PDFs. I think the first version was we gave them a template and they would email it in to a special mailbox. And then I wrote some software to reformat it so we weren't just looking at a wall of text and at least had the questions bolded and so on.
Carolyn, that's the kind of thing that Trevor used to do. We'd be like, this doesn't seem to be working efficiently. And Trevor would be like, okay, let me just whip something up. And so, yeah, that makes sense that you wrote something that turned the individual emails into PDFs. Okay.
Handy.
Yeah. So, and we printed them all out. We had 300 or more, and I remember sitting there with these huge stacks of them where we were sort of treating them like assignments or something, and we'd write our numerical scores on them.
So Paul said, we're going to do this project over the summer, which we called the Summer Founders Program, and you believed in the idea and you thought, okay, this will be a fun thing to do and get to hang out with Paul and Robert. And of course I was involved too. But do you remember coming for the interviews and stuff in Cambridge?
Yeah, that was so exciting. There were all these people that had these good ideas of things to start. And so, so I remember coming out to Cambridge and we'd interview. At the time we did half-hour interviews, right?
Oh yeah, and, even longer maybe.
We might have had 45-minute slots or something.
I think they were 45-minute slots.
But how would we never would have known that before we did it. These are the kind of things you only learn by doing it. So we
learned
we eventually learned
the painful ones.
We rarely changed our opinion after the first 5 minutes. And so let's just keep.
And the ones short. Where you knew this is a no, the next 40 minutes was really painful.
Yeah.
We were recently interviewing the Stripe brothers, John and Patrick, and they basically said, how weird is it that in your very first batch, you got, the founders of Twitch, ultimately Twitch, the founders of Reddit, Sam Altman. Was that shocking to you that the people we got were so good in that first batch?
Well, I guess that's what we were hoping for, is we'd get good founders. I didn't have a preconceived idea really for how many good ones we should expect. I think a lot of investors think you have to get, nearly 100%, and every one that goes wrong is you got to do a postmortem and understand how you screwed up.
Yeah.
And we knew from the beginning that it wasn't going to be like that maybe only half of them would work out.
Oh, I think we had lower expectations than that, Trevor. I think we were psyched just to get some decent programmers and see what happens. We weren't expecting half of them to succeed. Did you come out that first summer? Did you come out and spend some time at all and attend any of the dinners and, like, meet some of the first founders?
Yeah, I think I went to more than half the dinners that first time. It was a bit of a strain traveling back and forth, but it was worth it. Like the dinners were the most energizing thing in my life at the time.